2 years ago, we go to investors and say, hey, co-living, and they're like, what? And now we go and they're like, oh, co-living. Okay, now let's talk about the merits. We're just really trying to take a bite into that residential accommodation, rental accommodation. That's where we're going. The other spaces that are in co-living are increasingly plentiful. So you have Common in the US, you have We Live in parts of the US and growing, you have Outside, as we heard today, we have Zoku. But what's interesting, because the way that we look at it is that we think co-living is coming in to challenge all accommodation. So coming in to challenge hotels, coming in to challenge hostels, coming in to challenge like rental accommodation, coming in to challenge social accommodation, student accommodation. So the idea of it then means that the whole market basically is available. And because we happen to be positioned slightly differently to pretty much everyone else on the market, it's not for millennials necessarily, it's not just for professionals who also have a WeWork, it's not any of these things. It gives us an opportunity to move parallel alongside any of all of those without necessarily actually competing. Typical Rome is tall building if that's what happens, but structure anyway. And then on the ground floor, or the basement level, you have the communal spaces. So we don't go anywhere unless we can have at least 3, and that's a big shared kitchen. Large enough that we can fit it with several cookers, huge fridge, enough to divide it into individual fridges for everybody. If you're gonna sacrifice ownership, then the thing you have access to has to be high quality. You might buy yourself a shit car, but your Uber has to be like world class, because that's how we think about ownership versus access. So we need a huge kitchen, state of the art. We need a co-working space, big enough that everybody could functionally move in and out throughout the day and nobody feels cramped. And then you want a lounge, at least some sort of lounge, whether you have that be a library type of sort of chill space, or whether you have that be, a TV room, but it needs somewhere that people can socially congregate that isn't the kitchen and isn't the co-working space. That's the minimum. We might also then have other rooms you can play with and turn into different things, a small gym, a meditation room, that sort of thing.